Hello everybody, it's me, the Excellent Reviewer, and I'm back to the channel after quite a bit of hiatus. And since it's the new year, that means that Wrestle Kingdom 14 is just around the corner. And aside from the chase of who will hold the IWGP and IC titles for the first time, there's one historic career that will be coming to an end, that being Jushin Thunder Liger's. So I figured before his career comes to an end, I do a video covering his career and how he became an instant legend. Liger's real name, Keiichi Yamada, was born on November 30th, 1964 in Hiroshima, Japan, and found himself quickly fascinated with pro wrestling. And after high school, Yamada ended up applying to the New Japan Dojo, but he was rejected because he wasn't tall enough. Jushin Thunder Liger wasn't tall enough. The legendary Jushin Thunder Liger wasn't tall enough by New Japan standards. Imagine if he never pursued his dream and he just gave up because he wasn't tall enough. Liger, however, would not be deterred, as he would travel all the way to Mexico to train, where he had a lot of struggles, and by his own account said that he was starving while he was in Mexico. New Japan officials happened to be in Mexico, where they saw Liger how he was in the state he was in. Then they took pity on him and they welcomed him over to the New Japan Dojo. Liger would end up having his debut in 1984 under his real name at the age of 19. The following year, he would end up participating in the Young Lion Cup, where he would make it to the finals before losing. He was quickly impressing the right people, and on July 19, 1986, he would end up facing Nobuhiko Takada for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title, but would end up losing his first IWGP Junior title match. But it would not by any means be his last. Later in the year, he would end up winning the Young Lion Cup, and then he would leave on excursion to Europe and Canada, and he would wrestle for Stampede Wrestling, and he even trained with Stu Hart in the famous Hart Dungeon. And he would regard Stu as a very, very tough man. After his excursion, he would end up returning to Japan, where he would be given the gimmick that would change his entire career. New Japan called him in and they gave him the gimmick of Jushin Liger, based off the popular anime of the same name. And New Japan did the same thing with the Tiger Mask character, which had also been a very big success. Liger would quickly go on to win the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title, and fun fact, Liger even wrestled Macho Man Randy Savage. Even though he ended up losing, he still ended up wrestling the Macho Man. Big names in wrestling. Liger also ended up wrestling on the first ever episode of Monday Night Nitro against Brian Pillman. However, during his run in 1996, Liger announced that he would be taking some time off of wrestling, as he had a tumor and he needed to get the tumor removed. After surgery, Liger would end up getting back into the ring after 1 month removed from surgery. However, Liger would have to change his in-ring style, as before the surgery, Liger would be known for his high-flying style, and in order to reduce stress in his body, he changed his style to be more focused on technical wrestling and power moves, which no doubt extended his career for many more years to come. Now, let's look at some of the amazing accomplishments that Liger has had in his career. He has held the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship a total of 11 times, more than anyone else, and his second reign lasted 628 days. He won Best of the Super Juniors 3 separate times. He is a 6-time former IWGP Junior Tag Champion and is a 2-time Super J Cup winner. And that's only listing his New Japan accomplishments and not counting his title wins outside of New Japan. Liger would also end up wrestling for such companies as Ring of Honor, WCW, TNA, CMLL, and WWE, just to name a few. I mean, who could forget when he showed up to NXT Brooklyn and he'd take on Tyler Breeze? Although he didn't end up staying in WWE for a long time, it was still a hell of a moment. In 2019, it was announced that Liger would be having his final match at this year's Wrestle Kingdom 14 at the Tokyo Dome. Thus started his farewell tour, having his final matches in Mexico, the US, and all over Japan. He would be a part of the G1 Supercard in Madison Square Garden, the Super J Cup as a producer, and being entered into one last high-profile feud against Minoru Suzuki, where he would end up almost killing Suzuki by stabbing him. He would lose the feud, but the match was voted by the New Japan fans as Jushin Thunder Liger's best. It was announced that for his final matches in the Tokyo Dome, it would be Jushin Thunder Liger, Tatsumi Fujinami, The Great Sasuke, and Tiger Mask against Naoki Sano, Shinjiro Otani, Tetsuhito Taikawa, and Ryusuke Taguchi for the January 4th show. And the next night, it would be Jushin Thunder Liger and Naoki Sano against Ryu Lee and Hiromu Takahashi. And that will be the end of this amazing career that spanned over 30 years. Liger has held so many championships over the years, not to mention wrestled some of the biggest names in the industry, like Rey Mysterio, Ultimo Dragon, The Great Muta, Will Ospreay, and Hiromu Takahashi, just to name a few. Not to mention, he has had a career that not that many people are lucky to say that they've had. Not many wrestlers last for 30 years. Whether you know him or not, you have to admit that Jushin Thunder Liger has made an indelible mark on the wrestling business. His accomplishments have no end, and he has cemented himself as the best Super Junior of all time. And I, as well as many others, want to personally say thank you, Jushin Thunder Liger, for all the amazing memories that you have given me and countless others with your amazing work. And as the sun sets on your career, I would like to say, Liger forever.